Welcome to Aging Untold. When many people hear the word hospice, they think it means giving up or that the end is near. But more than 1.5 million Americans receive hospice care each year, and experts say it's not about dying, it's about living well for whatever time remains. Amy, you're an expert on this topic. What do you think people need to know about this critical care?
I think the first thing I'd want to talk about is, one, Medicare covers hospice services. So if you're Medicare eligible and you're on traditional Medicare, you can get hospice and it's free. So you get services that are provided. You get a free doctor, you get a free social worker, you get a free chaplain, you get your medicines that are related to your diagnosis covered, you get equipment and supplies. You have to be given 6 months or less to live, and then you have to be reevaluated to go back onto hospice. And I think, Sam, you've had a lot of experience in this area.
I have, and I teach a lot on this. You know, you have to come to a place in life to realize that we are immortal. We aren't immortal. Mm-hmm. We are going to pass away, and we're going to go through that final sunset, and you need to be able to do that on your own terms. Mm-hmm. And nobody wants to do it in a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. I understand that we don't want to lose our loved ones, and we don't want to say goodbye to our loved ones. But choosing hospice oftentimes is the best choice you can make for yourself and giving yourself the best advantage at that time.
And your family.
Yeah.
So I think what we want to really address is the myth that it's only for people that just have days or weeks to live. Mm-hmm. In fact, to the contrary, that's one of the challenges, is that people wait too long to let hospice come in. It's your right to do your own investigation, your own due diligence, and carefully select the hospice company that you want. Mm-hmm. And when you have questions about the care, how much time you're getting, whatever it is, go up the chain and get your questions answered, get the care you want, or you can revoke hospice at any time or transfer hospice companies. So you are in the driver's seat, not the hospital, not anybody else.
That's right.
I think it's important for the audience to understand, to make it really clear what it is, what it's not. You know, it really is just a shift from someone who is not going to be cured. You just want to provide comfort, mm-hmm. dignity, and quality of life. It mm-hmm. doesn't mean that you're pulling the plug or you're walking away or withholding anything like people say. Mm-hmm. And I think, like you said, you reevaluate every 6 months. If that person is doing better 6 months, you can discharge out.
You can. And I've seen it. Yeah. I've seen it oftentimes where people will improve. So that criteria is at the rate of decline. At the way my condition is declining today, I'm expected to live 6 months or less. If 3 months in I start improving miraculously, I can be discharged and I can graduate from hospice and go on, and a year later or on down the road need it again.
And in addition to that, if you fell and broke your hip and you had to go to the hospital, you go off hospice, right. You go back on traditional Medicare, mm-hmm. you go back on hospice. So it's very fluid.
And hospice meets you wherever you are. They come to you, whether it's the hospital, your home, and when you no longer need it, they're still there for your family. They're required to provide 13 months of bereavement.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. And
so it's a very important benefit that we have, and I just hate for people to miss out on it because they say, well, I don't want to give up. If that man's going to keep fighting, I want to keep fighting for him. And that's not what hospice is. It's not about giving up. It's about getting some extra help.
And the one thing that I see a lot of families that get really frustrated is they think that this is a 24/7 thing, and they think that it's going to provide the caregivers. They think that they're going to have all this extra. There is a lot of support that comes with hospice. There's a lot, and I advocate for hospice all the time. Mm-hmm. But it's not your 24/7 caregiver. It's not the person that's coming in and doing the feeding assist. They're nurses, they're bathing aides, they're running supplies, they're doing all the things that they can. But you may still need some outside support. So please don't think that it's going to provide every little bit of care that's needed.
The other thing it does that I hate knowing, but in this country, if you're on hospice, it's the only absolutely sure way to stay out of the hospital.
Okay.
So if you're on hospice and something happens in the home, it's okay not to call 911. It's okay to call the hospice company. You can call 911. It's not that you couldn't, but it's the only confident way to stay out of the hospital. Sometimes I've had people say, I just can't stand another hospital stay. I don't want them picking me apart. I want to stay home.
Right.
Well, let's go on hospice so that doesn't happen to you.
Right.
Yeah, I think people just have to understand that's what hospice is for. When you have that serious condition and treatment is not going to help, or the treatment is more of a burden.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's such a loaded term, and there's so much misconception and fear around hospice, and that's what we want to do is help bring some of that out so people can feel better and ask their own questions. We're all about empowerment here. Keep it right here. We'll be right back with Aging Untold.